Hey, Miss Jane, we need your help with... Is everything okay?
Huh? Oh yes, I'm fine. What is it?
We are having trouble with Poppy's chemicals again.
Hey,
Ah!
Not again! The chemical formula should have been perfect this time! Scheiße, scheiße, scheiße! Oh Mann, wieso muss das passieren?
Bad time?
Detective Goodman, what brings you here?
Oh, just Gracie's fine. I was wondering if I could try out that forensics test again. I know I failed last time, but I think I just didn't study as hard as I thought I did.
Wait, you took the forensics test? Why would you do that?
Well, you guys get to investigate and create so many cool things. Who wouldn't want to be a part of your team?
Huh? Again? But
Please, Dr. Fincher.
What does Detective Yoster think about this? You are partners, are you not?
He doesn't think it's a great idea, but this isn't about him. This is what I want. So please, Dr. Fincher, please.
All right. Follow me.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
I don't know how we managed to sneak out of there without Detective Lynn Yoster noticing us.
What can I say? I'm used to not wanting to be seen.
What do you mean by that?
Honestly, I don't know. Just a feeling I have, I guess. Anyway, this is her place?
Yep, she should be heading back any minute now. It's almost late anyway.
And you're gonna confront her about this, right? Because logically speaking, she's the only other person who could have done it.
I don't care if all logic points to that fact. I'm still going to believe her.
Believe in her?
Listen, Danny, I do think that she is hiding something, but until we know what that is or why she would do such a thing, I think it is too rash to say she is the culprit.
Your ideals are strange, Herod.
Frank? And, Danny, was it? What are you guys doing here?
Gracie, we need to talk to you.
What's with that look, Frank? Did something happen?
Oh, I think you...
You're hiding something, aren't you?
Huh? What's that supposed to mean?
Let me try asking this again, since you conveniently avoided my question last time. What's in the bag?
Nothing.
Cool, then let's take a look.
Wait, Danny, I wouldn't...
What now, Herod?
You know what? Never mind. Go for it.
Alrighty then, don't mind if I... Oh! Oh! Yeah, you're not as lanky as you look.
I am a police officer. I could take you in for assault, Mr. DeComp.
There really is nothing in there.
What?
Classic misdirection.
Frank?
Well, that's odd. What happened to that textbook of yours? Also, what kind of police officer carries around an empty bag?
I just didn't need to bring anything in, and I always carry it around, just in case.
Wait, that's not true. You only bring it in when you are taking a test. You didn't have it when you were interrogating Scarlett.
That's...
Just because it's empty now, that doesn't mean that you didn't have something in it before and casually dumped it somewhere inconspicuous.
So wait, back then... No way.
Well, it seems you've already figured it out.
Figured what out? I don't know what you're talking about.
You stole?
You're a kleptomaniac. Oh, this is Rich, a detective that steals.
What? No! I'm a police officer! I would never steal!
A police officer that wants to be a forensic scientist.
So is it really too improbable to imagine that in your anxiousness you took a few items back to your place so that you could play CSI?
Well, that's...
Exactly right.
No! You have no proof I would do such a thing. All you have are baseless accusations.
So you would have no problem if we were to snoop around your place a little bit, would you?
Of course I would.
Well, what are we gonna do now? At this point, all we'll be doing is talking in circles.
If we're done here, I need to get back inside. My brother will be back home soon.
Gracie, we need to get to the bottom of this, and you and I both know that Randy can't be the culprit, so please, just be honest with us.
Okay, it's true. I've been taking things from the forensics lab.
So she finally
But why, Gracie? That stuff was really important, especially to Miss Jane and Poppy.
I didn't mean to. I just really wanted to be a part of your guys' team. So I thought I would try to help out by taking the stuff home, but I just ended up messing everything up. And now Jane's gone, so I thought I should return the stuff I took.
Then the one who took Poppy's samples was...
Yeah, I grabbed them when you were talking to Randy by the door. It's just they were so cool and I couldn't help myself.
Well, last time I checked, that's the exact definition of a
Danny, I'm sorry, but can you just be quiet? So then does that mean you have Poppy's samples?
Nice work, Herod.
Oh, shut up. Jesus, this is heavy.
Give me that. What are you doing? This is the high-tech device that can detect blood after it's been wiped away. It looks like a gun.
Yeah, Poppy has a thing for guns. Did you modify it in any way, Gracie?
No, I promise.
Mind if we borrow that?
Oh, not at all. Frank,
It's okay, Gracie. We are going to figure this out. We are close. I can feel it.
No, it's not that. I don't think Randy is the culprit. He's just way too small to have taken Jane down. She may have been meek, but she wasn't weak.
So if you don't suspect him, then who do you suspect?
Huh? Oh, I don't know.
You sure you don't have anyone in mind?
Danny, what are you...
No, Frank, it's my turn. You had yours. Play fair. Detective Goodman, you have to have thought of the possibility that your partner is a potential suspect.
That's...
Danny, we have already discussed it was impossible for Detective Lynn Yoster to have done it, since he wasn't in the room when Randy picked up the scalpel.
Unless you are suggesting what I think you are, Mr. DeComp.
Huh?
Do tell, Miss Detective.
Gracie?
You are going to suggest that I am an accomplice in this whole thing, and that I, for some completely fantastical reason, took the scalpel and handed it to Detective Lynn Yoster, because we both had it out for the most beloved member of our team.
What?
Precisely.
Frank, where did you find this guy? You know yourself I couldn't have taken the scalpel. We were together all day.
Huh. Were you, Herod?
We... were.
Then why didn't you tell me sooner?
I just...
Besides, it's impossible for Lynn to have done it because...
Come on, spit it out.
Lynn and Jane had a different kind of relationship.
Different? How? Oh, now I get it. No wonder he called her Jane instead of Fincher. Found that a bit odd. Also explains why he's so messed up over this. What a shame. But even still, if that's the case, so what? Since when has that ever stopped anyone? The fact of the matter is, he still had the opportunity, and he still could have done it.
But there's no motive, Danny.
Not this nonsense again. You know what? Fine. You want motive? I'll give you motive. He had a note saying to meet the victim after work just before the time of the death, right? Thus, during this little meeting, that detective must have noticed the lab and thought of her as a traitor and killed her. There. Happy?
No, Danny, that's not possible.
What?
Detective Lynn Yoster himself told us he never saw the lab and became furious when James Lewis had taken notice of it before he could. Like you said before, you reveal things when you're angry. I don't think Lynn's side tangent was disingenuous.
Really? Like that proves anything. He could have just been a talented liar.
Well then, how about this, Mr. DeComp? Detective Lynn Yoster didn't even meet with Jane that night.
And how could you possibly know that?
Because, after I walked home with Frank, I had to stop by his place to hand off some paperwork on a different case, and I stayed there until the calling alarm went off. If you don't believe I am credible, you can just ask the neighbors. They'll say the same thing.
Look, we just need to check one more thing out. Now that we have Poppy's samples back, then we can know for certain what happened in this case.
Don't tell me you have an inkling of who it could be.
I do, but first, Gracie, could you tell Poppy to meet us at the crime scene?
Yes, I'll go ring her.
I didn't give her enough credit. Nor you.
Huh?
Let's just say you're not as dumb as you look. Now, let's get to the crime scene.
What, no witty retort?
Oh, you like my ready retorts, do you, Squishy?
Don't be mad just because I figured something out before you.
You have no proof that happened.
Sore loser.
Sorry I'm late, sir. I have finally arrived.
Thanks for coming so late, Poppy. We just need to look over the crime scene one more time.
My samples! Where did you find them?
We can discuss that later. Now, can you please use this device for what it's for?
Absolutely. This device should, well, hopefully, be able to detect any blood that was at the crime scene, even if it was wiped away. It should turn a bright blue color. Are you ready? Stand back.
It worked, Poppy!
It did!
Look, you two can nerd out later. Look at this.
These markings.
Lady Fincher must have stumbled before finally hitting the ground. That would explain why her blood would be splattered like that.
But it wasn't like that the day we found her.
Meaning the killer removed that evidence. But why? The only possible explanation is that it would incriminate the person who... I see.
Huh? What is it?
Oh, nothing. It's just... I know who killed Jane Fincher.
Bitte was?
For real this time?
Of course for real. Look, the trail starts just outside the secret lab, right?
Secret lab?
I'll tell you later.
Not to mention the mess we saw in there. So Jane must have first been attacked in the lab.
Could that have been where she got those bruises?
Was there something that could have caused those bruises in the lab?
No, but there is one possibility.
One possibility.
Well, there's definitely something that could have caused those bruises and left those marks in the blood at the crime scene, and the killer wouldn't even have to dispose of it.
You mean
I'm confused.
it was just as I was thinking?
Sir Harriet?
Danny, we have to confirm this.
That's right, Harriet. Lead the way.
Wait! Sir Harriet, what should I do?
Get Gracie and Detective Lynn Yoster and tell them to meet us at the West Fountain hallway.
But that's where... Ah! Okay! Yes, sir! Alles gut!
Frank, what are you doing at this hour? You again.
Sir.
Look, if you two are just here to pry more information out of me, you're not going to get it. For the last time,
Enough! Mr. Lewis! You were the one who killed Jane, weren't you?
You can't be serious.
Oh, but he is.
Frank, this thing has been brainwashing you and filling your head with nonsense. I am a noble man of the law. I did not, nor would I ever, kill that forensics officer. Now, for the last time, leave this alone. I've had enough of you two playing detective.
We aren't playing, Mr. Lewis. We have evidence.
Well then, Frog, let's see this evidence.
All right, then. Let's start at the beginning. Yesterday, Randy came to the MBPD to visit me in the forensics lab, where Gracie was waiting to take her test at the time. However, something strange happened right before Randy entered the lab. The curtain fluttered, but we never saw anybody enter the room. At first I thought it was just Randy messing with the curtains before he got to them. But in reality, he hadn't even touched the curtains yet when I opened it. I surmised that you entered the lab in a hurry and hid behind the desk by the door, and that is when you witnessed Randy picking up the scalpel. Gracie and Jane went into her office so Gracie could take her forensics tests, and Randy and I left shortly after. So you had plenty of time to snag the scalpel for yourself. Not to mention you're a snake, therefore you could pick up the scalpel without having to worry about prints being left behind.
Really? You call that evidence? Where would I have even kept the scalpel, I believe I bumped into you and that mouse on my way out of the NBPD. Wouldn't you two have seen it?
That one's easy. You know as well as I do that every hat has a pocket on the inside. Is it so improbable that you put the scalpel there just as you like to keep candy in your hat? Next, I assume you found Jane at her secret lab. That place was a complete mess when we got there, meaning the entire attack likely happened in there. Jane had bruises on her abdomen, neck, and front paws. However, we found nothing at the scene of the crime or the secret lab that could have caused those markings, meaning the killer must have disposed of them. Or maybe he wouldn't have to since he is a snake who attacks by wrapping and suffocating his opponents. Jane didn't go down without a fight, did she? The fight must have spilled out in the hallway, and it was there that your monocle must have been knocked off your face and broken.
My monocle? Broken? If my monocle was truly broken, do you really think it would be on my face right now?
Oh, do you always wear a monocle? Because I don't recall seeing one on your face when we first met, In fact, I distinctly remember seeing you reach to adjust it as if it was there, which would be a bit of an odd habit if that person doesn't wear glasses often.
Well, how do you know the glass wasn't from Dr. Fincher's goggles? Simple. Jane's goggles had an orange tint to them, and that glass was found everywhere around the body. But the blue glass was only found underneath the body, meaning the glass could have only been broken before Jane's body landed on the ground. In other words, during the struggle. Once you killed Jane, you moved to start cleaning up the crime scene. However, you ran into a problem, didn't you? Randy must have stumbled near the crime scene at this point, which left you no time to clean everything up. I surmise you originally removed the scalpel with the intention of getting rid of it. However, upon seeing Randy, you concocted a plan to frame him instead. Thus, you stabbed the scalpel back into the same location. Using Poppy's blood detector device, we found blood streaks. Most likely you cleaned this blood up to make it appear as though you, a snake, never slithered through that blood. Those blood streaks lead to the secret lab, and to avoid being seen, you most likely hid there. However, since Randy's scream alerted Scarlett Jones, you were unable to leave the secret lab to finish cleaning up the crime scene. Stuck there all night as the police investigate the scene, that is until Danny and I stumbled upon it and you were waiting inside.
I did find it odd, your method of entering the lab. Instead of using the front door like the good officer what's-her-name, you came out from underneath the door itself.
So what? This is all circumstantial evidence, held up by events you believe to be fact, and samples that you can't prove actually work. I have worked at the NBPD for years. I am one of the most elite officers in the precinct. Why would I throw all of that away to kill a member of our own team?
The answer would lie in your own sentence, good sir.
What are you on about now, rat?
Well, you just said it yourself. You're one of the most elite officers, right? Assigned to the ABS investigation, yeah? It doesn't take a super detective to look at that lab and see that Jane was involved in some pretty shady stuff, right? Now, how would you feel if you found out one of your co-workers was a traitor?
You honestly believe I would stoop so low as to murder my own co-worker?
Well, at the very least, you were suspicious of her. That's why you were spying on her in the first place, correct?
Hey, I never said I—
Ah, cut the crap, Prince Noodleface. I found this behind one of the mortuary containers.
Isn't that...
Some kind of candy wrapper. Now, who do we know that likes candy?
That's— no!
Must have fallen out when you decided to swipe that scalpel and stick it in the very hat you keep your candy in. Checkmate, Mr. Lewis.
Oh, well, boys, color me impressed. I suppose I didn't give you two enough credit.
So you admit it?
Well, this was interesting. I just finished my lollipop as well.
Sir?
If that idiot mouse hadn't walked by when he did, I would have had enough time to clean up that scene, and I wouldn't have been stuck in that godforsaken lab all night.
So you really were in there when we arrived?
Fine, you got me. I'm the killer. So what?
So what? So now you're going to pay for what you did to Jane and Randy!
Am I now? You forget, Frog. I'm an elite officer who has made a name for myself in the precinct. And you are a lowly forensics investigator, working with a piece of trash. Who in their right mind would believe you?
When we show them the evidence, they will—
Ha! Evidence! You mean your testimony of the events in question, some glass, and samples you don't even know are truly accurate. What I did for the sake of the sewer system, to protect them from the evil that is the ABS. And you two are the villains trying to stop me.
No way. That's—
Oh, really now? There's nobody who would believe us, And what about Detective Lynn Yoster? Last I checked, he's not exactly your biggest fan. He may look twice if word were to get to him.
Then I'll just have to make sure word doesn't get to him. So I guess my suspicions are confirmed. What on earth are you doing, Dr. Fincher?
Mr. Lewis!
So you have been working with the ABS then? I figured so much when I snuck into your office this morning and found those plans on your desk. I know for a fact the director never asked you to make whatever that was. So tell me, Dr. Fincher, what exactly is your organization planning?
Mr. Lewis, I can explain, please. You see,
I don't want to hear your excuses. You've been leaking our information and have possibly jeopardized our entire case against them.
No, I would never. You don't understand. My sister, she may be in trouble. I'm just trying to—
That's enough! I can't fail in my assignment. The director is counting on me to put an end to the criminal side of the ABS. And if word gets out that one of our members was leaking information—
Mr. Lewis, please. You have to listen to me. I didn't want to—
I've had enough! I cannot fail!
You made me break my favorite pipe, Lewis.
Sir?
So, I suppose I was right about you after all. Very disappointing.
Who are you?
A friend.
We made it, guys. What's...
Sir, you're...
I suppose I don't need to explain since these two seem to have pieced it together for themselves. Goodman, Yoster, take Lewis into custody and let the mouse go. I don't suppose I need to follow you back, do I?
No, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's go, Detective Goodman.
Detective Lynn Yoster, who was that? Was that a cat?
I'll explain later, Detective Goodman.
Now, as for you two...
You're not gonna eat us, are you?
Really, Frank? Jesus.
Of course not.
Then who are you?
Let's walk. I'm sure your friend is eager to see you.
can't believe James was the one who killed Jane.
Yeah. It's over, isn't it? If only I had stayed that night.
Lynn.
Jane! I got your note. What was it that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, Lynn! You came. I changed my mind. It wasn't important. Just forget about it.
Are you sure? You seem bothered. Is there anything I can do to help?
I'm in trouble, Lynn.
Trouble? Is someone after you? Tell me what is going on and I can help.
I can't. Not yet, Lynn. I just need to do something first. Meet me here tomorrow, same time. I promise I will explain everything. I just am not mentally prepared. You may view me differently after I tell you, and I just want to prepare myself.
Jane, I would never. Just tell.
Please, Lynn. I promise I will tell you everything tomorrow.
All right. Tomorrow, Fincher. Don't make me wait.
I won't.